Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone is having a great day. Just let everyone roll in here. It is July the 17th, which is crazy to think about that we are just rolling through summer. And today we have a great guest here, Joe Parisi from Honeywell, a good friend, good partner with us. So we're super excited. And we're going to talk about just transitioning into new technology from some legacy products. And right before we got on the call today, I was joking with him about, I think it's time I need to clean out my junk drawer of my office because I found antiquated technology in my desk, which was a RS-232 to USB. He was joking, I don't think people might not even know what that is. And I said, well, I think I think some on this call probably had to live and breathe by it too. But anyway, so good morning, everybody, wherever you are, East Coast or West Coast. But we have Joe from Honeywell with us today, who is a customer success manager, technically, with Honeywell. But to me, he's my go-to at Honeywell, and we are so appreciative of him. He is the man with all insight, and we're super appreciative to him for our how long have you known? I know for Peter, you and Peter go back for years, Joe, but how long do you think you've been friend or competitor or whatever with CMS?
Oh, since 1999. So
1999. So just a few years.
it's a few years, one or two.
Yeah. Hi, Maya.
Hi,
Um,
Jackie. Good
so yeah,
morning.
we're so appreciative of your partnership long term, Maya as well. Just super responsive and wanted to talk today about specifically TELDAT, that offering and kind of transitioning into 2025. So without further ado, Joe, just real quick before we get started, if you have any questions, try to lead yourself to the Q&A at the bottom and away from the chat. That way I can manage all the questions. And as they are pertinent throughout the webinar, I will make sure we kind of tackle those. But if they can wait, then I will definitely wait till the very end. So without further ado.
Awesome. Well, Jackie, thank you very much for that awesome introduction. For everybody else on this call, I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Maya Collins. Maya is my right-hand guide here. She is my partner. When I'm flying someplace, she backfills for me. So, just like the entire life safety industry, we built in some redundant infrastructure. So Maya and I are attached at the hip, and we'll be very, very responsive to your needs going forward. And shortly here, I will share a slide that has our contact info here. So today we're going to talk about the TELDAT and the IPDACT sunset. So official notification has gone out a few years ago, but like great technology, the technology has not died. So the technology is still up and running. It's still functional. And many of the attendees on this call still support accounts that have this IP infrastructure. Over on the right-hand side, I have a little graphical image of what the IPDAC looks like. And some of you may not be familiar with what the central station receiver looks like, but this is the TELDAT receiver that's located in the multiple CMS monitoring centers. I want to take a minute and talk about the IPDACT itself. The IPDACT was launched in 2007. So I've gotten a lot of feedback, especially being Honeywell. Dealers and fire alarm professionals called me up and says, "Hey, you're sunsetting a great piece of technology. How come?" And the answer to that is because it was deployed in 2007. And when we start looking at comparison technologies in different market spaces, let's just have a good understanding of what happened in 2007, which was number one, the iPhone 1 by Steve Jobs was released. Windows Vista Ultimate was released, and the RIM BlackBerry Curve was released. Now, I want to point something out. Honeywell is a technology leader. So are these companies that I just highlighted. Those products are long sunset. So Honeywell has supported this for a very, very long time, but due to evolution, right? We're talking IPDACs, cybersecurity issues, components that are aging. We needed to sunset the technology at some point. And here's some other fun facts that occurred in 2007, right? Barry Bonds breaks Hank Aaron's record. The Red Sox won the World Series. The Colts won the Super Bowl. The first Transformers movie came out. The Departed aired in movie theaters. Superbad was released. Stamps were 41 cents. Eggs were a nominal $2.40. And a loaf of bread was $1.62. And I point that out to say, hey, it's been 18 years, reinforcing it's time to shift and upgrade your technology. Um, Again, just another quick preview of what the IPDACT looks like. So IPDACT 2, IPDACT 2UD, and then the visor alarm, also known as the TELDAT receiver. This is what Honeywell put out as far as power supplies for the IPDACT. Now, what I'm going to propose is a drop-in replacement. You can leverage any existing power supply that currently powers your IPDACTs. So my goal was to make this a simple upgrade process as possible. And we're going to talk about some wiring diagrams here momentarily. This is the splash screen. This was the programming tool that in 2007, you can see it looks like Windows 3.1, but you can see the legacy here. This is the program splash screen that we use to deploy the IPDACT. Now, let's take a look at the IPDACT versus the proposed drop-in replacement. My proposed drop-in replacement is the CLSS pathway. Rather economically priced solution. If we start to look at the voltage, you can see the voltage requirement of an IPDACT matches the voltage requirement of the pathway. You can see the pathway draws less power than the IPDACT in standby, a little bit more in transmit. But again, remember, the CLSS pathway is a cellular and IP dual path communicator. Then we start to look at supervision, very comparable. We start to look at encryption. We're encrypted across the board. We start to look at inputs. So with the CLSS pathway, you get twice the inputs, giving you 4 versus 2. The monitoring receiver hardware, the software receiver is installed at CMS to support the CLSS pathway, so no longer a need to support hardware. So when we start to talk about longevity and evolution, it's much easier to upgrade a piece of software. Then obviously this is the reason why the TELDAT receiver sunset. The hardware has sunsetted. And we support proprietary monitoring. And what I mean by that is if you have a campus that does their own monitoring, you may be doing that with the IPDACT today. You can also do that with the CLSS pathway. We support dual path across the board where IPDACT was IP and dial-up. The CLSS pathway is IP and cellular, and that's a dual SIM cell solution. And the UL listing, the CLSS pathway is 864, 10th edition. Obviously, the IPDACT is a legacy product on UL 864, 9th edition. And we support dynamic or static IP addressing. Now we're going to talk about drop-in replacements. So this is the path of the existing installation using the IPDACT. So you have the fire alarm control panel connected to the IPDACT, and you have choice. You can use IP to a TELDAT receiver or IP with dial-up, and dial-up costing your customer, your building owner, between $75 and $150 a month for a PSTN line, communicating to dial-up receivers, which are quickly going obsolete. The upgraded technology, we have the fire alarm control panel to the CLSS pathway. You can see it's a drop-in replacement connecting right in places that the IPDACT. The difference is the CLSS pathway bypasses the PSTN telephone network. So we communicate over the internet and leverage the cell network in a dual active cellular connectivity. In other words, we leverage Verizon and AT&T. You do not choose one. They are both active, and one carrier goes down, the CLSS pathway will automatically switch to the secondary. Now, start to look at detailed wiring diagrams. So the upper screenshot here is your power supply connected to the IPDACT, and the phone line from your fire alarm control panel is connected to the IP communicator. So same thing for the CLSS pathway. You're going to leverage tip and ring right to the impact inputs of tip and ring for the CLSS pathway, and you're going to leverage the same power supply that you currently have installed. Now, this could be my Honeywell HP300 ULX or any other commercial fire listed power supply that you currently have installed. You also have the option of connecting the CLSS pathway directly to the fire alarm control panel for power inputs. What really powers the CLSS pathway and separates Honeywell from our competitors is the software features that sit in the CLSS cloud behind it. So in addition to all that great life safety transmissions, leveraging IP or cellular communications, both encrypted, we also have a suite of tools that sit in the CLSS cloud. One of the things that you as fire alarm professionals can leverage is our integrated compliance manager or inspection tools. So in the CLSS cloud, you have your integrated inspection tools. We have activated and released recently, about a month ago, our auto pass features. So as you're out there doing an inspection and you're triggering smoke detectors, automatically on your handheld app, when the event is transmitted from the fire alarm control panel through the CLSS pathway to the CLSS cloud, your mobile device will say, yep, check that box. The signal has landed over at CMS. Everything looks good. I got the acknowledgement back from the monitoring center. So that is a huge time-saving device. We also offer something called Facility Manager. So on the CLSS side, I have two solutions. One is for the fire alarm professional, and two is the CLSS Facility Manager, which is geared towards the building owners. So now, as a fire alarm professional, you can conduct your annual test and inspect, or your quarterly, weekly, or monthly, whatever you choose as far as your frequency, your inspection, and that gets uploaded to the CLSS cloud, and your building manager or property owner can see that inspection report listed at the building level. And I say building level because start to think about campuses where I have multiple buildings. Well, my inspection pertains to each fire alarm control panel. My fire alarm inspection pertains directly to my fire alarm, that building itself. And we can pull in fire extinguishers, emergency exit signs, emergency lighting. If you want customized reports, we can bring in generator inspections. So this is a huge tool that sits behind this. Drilling down just a little bit more on the CLSS Compliance Manager software. Again, everything on your inspection report can be viewed actively as the test is being conducted, or once the test is complete, you can retrieve those results, pull up the inspection report, send it directly from your mobile device to anybody that wants to see it. We can also support a self-serve type of application where your building manager can say, the fire marshal's here. Let me just pull up last year's inspection report. Here it is, send instantly. No more phone call back to the fire alarm professional's office to say, hey, quickly, the AHJ is here, the fire marshal's here. I need my inspection report right now, please. We mentioned AutoPass. And coming soon, we have what we call bulk pass. And what this is, CLSS is constantly driving labor efficiencies. So if you have a bulk list of devices, hypothetically it's perhaps 100 pull stations in a very long corridor. You can conduct your visual inspection and bulk past them right down the line. You can extend that building manager access. You can create your own deficiency reports, inspection reports, deficiency reports, has the fire alarm professionals logo here. If you're dealing with a property management company, we can leverage the property management company's logo here, or if it's a campus, the end user's logo. And again, don't forget, this is a multi-building, multi-site, global or nationwide solution. So bring as many buildings or campuses that you want to bring into the CLSS environment. This is the CLSS portal. So this is basically a dashboard. Both you as the fire alarm professional as well as your customer get to see a similar screen here. So here you can see your event visibility, all my buildings with a fire event, all my buildings with supervisory, troubles, or disablements, and here's my list of buildings on that particular campus. If there's only one building in the portfolio, no problem. There's one building in the portfolio. Then I get to store my compliance and inspection reports, right? So I store my NFPA 72 inspections, fire extinguishers, emergency lighting, sprinklers, generators. If you support medical campuses and you need joint commission reports, CLSS supports that as well. And if you're working with an end user, customer, property manager that has their own specific life safety requirements for inspections, that's not a problem. CLSS can customize those reports for you. We also keep track of your devices, your inventory, such as smoke detectors, the date of install, the lifespan of them. And through CLSS, we can also provide your end users or you as the fire alarm professional push notifications through the CLSS app. So these are in-app alerting. So now you start to couple your push notifications with your events. You can drill down the event detail, but you can also couple that with a facility that does their own monitoring, such as a university. You can do combination monitoring. CMS can handle your professional dispatch, and your campus can get real-time alerts either on a PC or through in-app alerting, bolstering and adding to your life safety solutions. And of course, we have that hybrid level. Perhaps it's an on-off situation before or after hours. So the point here and the takeaway from this slide is CLSS and the CLSS pathway is extremely flexible to meet many of the commercial fire applications. Now, this list group here, we sent this list out to customers that we knew were using the TELDAT or IPDACT solutions. And I realized that many of you on this call have establishments and facilities and campuses that have this technology here. So hypothetically, you have 90 buildings on a campus. You need some type of assistance executing this upgrade. I'm going to ask you to reach out to myself or Maya Collins, and we will assist you providing this solution to your customer, whatever that may look like. If you need a Honeywell representative to join you and meet with your campus, either in person or virtually, myself or Maya will make that happen for you. So we can assist you that way. We can help you explain the pros and cons of the current technology versus the old technology. And of course, if you want to upgrade your phone lines and get off telco lines, which are quickly sunsetting as well, yes, definitely. Let's look at those deployments. Let's start to sunset our failing technology, our legacy technology, as well as traditional dial-up phone lines, because they are not, the infrastructure is not what it used to be. So the next question is, how do I get started with CLSS? The first thing you're going to do, number one, go to fire.honeywell.com. You will, two, click the button, request access. And here you're going to have two options. Either A, you're a dealer, or B, you're an ESD. what we mean by ESD, you're a notifier, Gamewell, or Honeywell direct customer. If you buy your products, your commercial fire products through distribution, you're a dealer. That's easy. Just select that radio button, fill out your company information, send the request, and instantly the process will start for you. You'll get a welcome email, you'll get your temporary passcode, you'll change your passcode, and then you'll be able to log into CLSS and you'll be able to start deploying your first set of CLSS pathway communicators. If you need help, we have CLSS tech support at the ready for you. They are available 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. If you want a scheduled in-depth training, we can do that for you. Maya or myself will spend an hour, 2 hours, whether it's virtually or in person, to help train your salespeople, train your technical staff, train your installation team. Before I open it up to questions, I do want to bring back to everybody's attention important contact information, tech support email, my direct contact info, Maya's direct contact info. And I will say this, since Maya's my backup, please copy both of us in your email correspondence. This way, one of us will be sure to turn your request around in a timely fashion. I see Jackie has popped back on, and I'm hoping we have some awesome questions from our audience today.
You may have just done such a great job. There might not be any, but I will say that I did appreciate the graphic that was just bring me back to the 15, 20 years ago of Windows. Like you said, I think everything is full circle, so now that's all coming back. So I don't know, I thought it looked good. So okay, so let's see. Any questions? I usually give it like about a minute just so people, in case they're typing, they can, because sometimes I'll close it. As I'm closing it, something will pop in. So let me just see if there's any questions for you guys. But if not,
Let me, Jackie, if I may share just one quick detail, and
yeah.
um, I may have glossed over this in one of my slides. The CLSS pathway is a universal communicator. We support the communication formats of contact ID, 4x2, and SIA format. Now, if you're using something different, something, I don't want to call it obscure, let's call it proprietary, like Radionics Modem 2, Radionics Modem 3, DMP format, or something unique, we have relay inputs. So this particular device is extremely flexible.
Okay, great. Just like that, we get a question. So a couple questions are, can we do remote downloads?
So commercial fire regulation prevents us from executing remote downloads through this particular device.
Okay,
So the answer to that is my apologies, but no,
but
we
that's a
cannot support
limitation
downloads.
of that, yeah. And then will there be an enclosure with power supply coming? Heard this potentially is a rumor.
Yes, so the enclosures are already available. Regarding the power supply, we are in development of a power supply. I expect that late Q4, early Q1.
Okay, awesome. Lovely. And then question was, can you elaborate on the class and CMS integration and how CMS uses CLSS for monitoring panels? Oh, wait,
Sure.
hold on. Having a couple coming in. Okay, so you do that, and then can we do a remote download with a tech in the field to initiate? So I think you just answered that question, right?
Correct. And let me just elaborate a little bit more on that because they're great questions. So this communicator that connects to tip and ring, I don't have a way to access from the telco interface directly into Jackie, the RS-232 interface, right? To program the
Right.
panel, the data bus, or the 485 interface. Exactly. So that is not available in this current technology. Now, down the road, as Honeywell continues to integrate the communicators into products like the ES50X, ES200X, which touches that data bus, eventually, that is being considered today.
Okay. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay. Any more questions? Let's see. Let's get another question here. Any additional antennas available to extend the length?
So, distribution does have optional antenna kits. Jackie, what I'll do is I'll send you the antenna kit part numbers. If you can share it with the audience, that would be great. But basically, it's the same antenna. We try to make this as universal as possible, but it's the same antenna that Resideo uses. It's a
Okay.
Resideo part number.
It's that same one. Okay.
Yep, it's a 3 dB, 50
Okay.
or 100 feet, I believe.
Okay. And they can get that at their standard uh distributor. Okay.
Correct. Yep, through all the majors.
Okay, great. And then just so everyone can see, make sure that you contact Joe and Maya, and I can attest, you email both of them, copy both of them on an email. One of them will get back to you pretty quickly. So just don't hesitate to utilize both of them. You never know which one's going to get back to you quicker, but sometimes it's Maya. Maya's quick to the draw. So anyway. Thank you so much. If there's no other questions, I think we're good.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Jackie, I
much.
want to thank you for hosting this for us and allowing us to address your esteemed customers here. And again, to the dealers that are on this call, don't be shy. Reach out to us. The goal of this technology is to make sure that no one loses a single customer in this technology upgrade. And between Honeywell and CMS, we are going to do everything we can to make sure the customers are fully protected, no disruptions in service, and get the best commercial fire solution that the Honeywell has to offer.
Agreed. And again, to the dealers on the call, thanks so much for taking your time. I know you're busy and I know it's summer and it's probably the last thing you want to do is get on a webinar. So thank you so much for taking your time to learn more about different offerings, but also just stay informed. We do have some new things coming and different exciting news coming from CMS and CLSS coming down the pipe. So just keep your eyes and ears, and we'll be pushing that information out really soon. So we're excited. Thank you
Awesome.
so much. All
Thanks,
right, guys,
everybody.
have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.